Getting ready to start here in a minute. Well, less than a minute now. All right, good day, family. How are you guys doing? I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful week. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you are alive, you had a good week this week. I'm telling you right now, I got to tell myself that too. That's right. Hey, Sister Darlene, how you doing? And everybody else, as you're making your way in the house, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope your families are doing all right. And so another good one this evening. And this one we are going to go in, y'all. We're going to go in because this is a topic that we need to really understand. We really need to understand this. A lot of times we hear people talking about how, social media and how social media, you gotta be careful with social media. You can't consume too much of it and all of that. And that's all of that is true. It's very true. But sometimes it's, very important and more impactful when you begin to see and understand what happens when you do cross those lines, or when you allow these different things to violate your space, and so we really need to, we're going to get into that in this broadcast so that, people can really understand, what's going on. But anyway, hope you guys doing well. All right. So let's go ahead and dive in. If you are not signed up for our newsletter, wow, that came out of nowhere. I was actually thinking about starting a newsletter. I was actually thinking about doing that for Samba Tree. That may be coming. You may have gotten that a little bit too soon. But we are, in fact, we did, in fact, send out an email this today, matter of fact. And this is the latest addition to Samba Tree, our website, sambatree.com. I'm just going to go right to the email for those that may have missed it. And you're going to see how it's this small little piece to a much bigger thing that we're going to be talking about. Everything we're talking about is related, okay, to the video. All right. And so anyway, so we got this. I know many of you guys who have drink cups and stuff, you've seen these cups that they look like copper on the outside, but a lot of times the ones you see, they have stainless steel on the inside, but not these. And these are 100% copper. And you may be saying, why, what's the big deal about copper? Well, I'll tell you why. 99.99%. Why they just push it over to 100%? I mean, why people do that? But anyway, pure copper drinking vessels. Okay. And then we're just going to go through the email very quickly here. What is copper water? Okay. So it's not just, I got a little drinking vessel that, and it's got water in it. No, but there's something special, something unique. And I'm not just saying this just to be saying this. This is something that civilization's been doing this for thousands of years. Okay. We just now catching up to it. Many, this generation is, right? What is copper water? Now, remember, some of y'all who are old enough, you remember how a lot of our houses, the piping used to be all copper, and then they took all that out. And now it's plastic. Well, there's a reason why. I think there's a little more reason why they just took it out, because it was expensive. There's a little more reason to that. But anyway, let's get into it. It says, when water is stored in a copper vessel for 6 to 8 hours, small amounts of copper ions gently release into the water and becomes copper charged. Copper is the third most prevalent mineral in your body, yet your body cannot make it. Your body can only get copper from dietary sources. We're going to talk about that too, because you don't just get it from, a cup, but there's other places too. But anyway, copper water has antimicrobial, antioxidant, anti-carcinogenic, and anti-inflammatory properties. Drinking copper water is a real, measurable strategy for improving your health. And then we got a whole breakdown here. Copper bottle benefits. It says, it enhances the immune support, improves metabolic function, enhances cardiac and brain function, enhances iron absorption, rejuvenates skin and hair, prevents free radical cellular damage, improves joint health, regulates hormonal function, speeds up the healing of wounds. And I'm gonna tell you what, I'm a witness to that. The speeding up of wounds, healing of wounds. If you've ever had copper, you ever made what is it? Not the silver. Y'all help me out. It's been a week. Dang, I used to make it. But you can do silver or you can do copper. And basically you make it, and then I made it into like a spray, and it was, when I would get cut, I would spray that copper on there, and man, that thing would heal up just like that, for real. Anybody can do it. Colloidal, that's what it is. Colloidal silver. Well, you got colloidal silver, but you also have colloidal copper. I used to make both of them, and then when we moved, I still got to find what I did with my stuff. But yeah, colloidal silver, but you also have colloidal copper. And copper is what you would use, colloidal copper. You don't typically use that internally. That's something you use externally. Colloidal silver, you can use that internally, but you got to be careful with that. You can't do a whole thing of copper, of colloidal silver and drink it. You don't want to do that. But anyway, let's move on. Regulates thyroid function, may help support the functioning of the thyroid gland and combat thyroid problems caused by copper deficiency. Fights anemia, may help raise hemoglobin levels in the body, which reduce the risk of anemia. Boosts brain health. I'm telling you right now, everything I'm saying, some of y'all may already been just turned off. Oh, he's just talking about the ad stuff. He just talking the Sombatry stuff. I'll come back later. I'm telling you right now, everything I'm saying is tied to what we're going to be talking about. Okay. So you may want to pay attention, to all of this. Okay. And did I say, okay, boost brain health. Copper is essential for brain function as it has enzymes that activate the brain's neurotransmitters. Its deficiency can result in neural degeneration. Improves joint and bone health. It maintains bone mineral density and has anti-inflammatory effects that prevent osteoporosis and arthritis. It aids collagen production that supports joint functioning. Boosts metabolism. It can help synthesize copper in the body and improve metabolism. Eliminates harmful bacteria. The antimicrobial properties of copper may help eliminate dangerous microbes like E. coli and Salmonella. The bottom line, copper water is amazing. Copper bottles clean and transform your water into a wellness waterfall for your body. And how do you make copper water? Now, this is the part you're going to want to pay attention if you get one of these. Pour room temperature filtered water into your copper vessel. Number 2, allow it to sit for 6 hours or overnight. In other words, don't just fill it and then drink it and think you're getting benefit. You ain't getting nothing. It's got to be something. Before you go to bed, fill it up and let it just sit overnight while you sleep. And then when you wake up, just enough little particles have come into that water for your body to take it in. Drink it when you wake up, preferably on an empty stomach. Don't overdo it. 1 bottle of copper water is enough for the day. Don't be trying to, I'm going to go for a record. No, don't do that. Okay. Number 5, use water only. No acidic juices, no hot beverages. Don't be putting your sodas in there. You shouldn't be drinking sodas anyway. Don't be putting juices and coffee and all that stuff. Don't do that, okay? Just water only. This bottle is for water only. Enjoy the health benefits. Let's see. And then we got the different styles of bottles here that you can see, and they'll tell you that. And we got the height. And then this is the prices that they're listed at on Amazon, but we beat that price. Our premium copper vessels are made with approximately 330 grams of pure copper. Many cheaper bottles on the market are very thin, not leak proof, and have only 220 grams of copper. So yeah, we working with someone who was, who's been in this for a long time, and they, they're not just, it ain't just regular stuff. This is a little higher grade than what you would get, let's say at Big Lots or something like that. I ain't hating on Big Lots, shoot, but you know what I'm saying. So anyway, so that is on our website, sambatree.com. Again, the website is sambatree.com. I'm not going to even pull it up for the sake of time, and because I just want to dive in, because this broadcast tonight, you may want to, I was even toying around with actually taking these things and putting it on a PDF so that you can download it. I may still do it, but it's really like that. So you're going to want to make sure you're paying very close attention to the details that's going into this tonight. Okay. So yeah. So yeah, if you don't have one, I would highly recommend that you add this to your kitchen, to your daily thing, as you're making sure that you're getting that mineral in your body. But copper isn't certainly the only mineral that your body runs off of, as we're going to be going through each one of those minerals tonight. And so the next question is, why are we talking about minerals? Well, let's start the conversation like this. Now, this week, I couldn't help it, and I'm sure many of you couldn't help it either, but there's a young lady on TikTok that has blown up that app. I mean, she blew up that app and blew up, people all over, literally all over the world. Risa Teresa. And she has been, and all she did was she went on TikTok and she shared her story about this. It's something. I didn't watch it. I can't take but so much drama. As soon as I see where it's going, it's like I can't. I can't. Ain't nothing on her. It's just that's not where I am. You understand what I'm saying? But she did this thing, and you have some people out there saying she's lying or whatever. But even from what I can tell, even if she was lying, apparently she's a very good storyteller. You know what I'm saying? But what I want to first talk about here first, as we go into a little bit deeper here, has nothing really to do with her as an individual. Nothing at all. I have no criticism, nothing like that. So it's none of that at all. But I kind of, when things like this pop up, I was on TikTok. Well, first I heard about it actually on Twitter. I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw it. I was like, oh, what are these people talking about? And then I followed it and I was like, oh my goodness, And so from then I was like, oh, this actually started on TikTok. And so I go on TikTok, and she did like 50, I think it was 52 installments. You know how TikTok, it only allows you to record but so long. Now they're trying to do longer form videos, but she squeezed it in, and she did like 52 parts about this really, really bad relationship she was in. It's really something. It's definitely a movie. If anything, she gonna get a Tubi movie out of this. She gonna get a Tubi movie out of this joint. But anyway, so she was so her telling her story, and she said it. She said, "Listen, my only reason for doing this, I just want to share my story so that other people can learn from it and not do what I did. You know what I'm saying? I didn't pick up anything like it was some kind of male bashing or nothing like that. It was just, she just telling her story. That's it. And so anyway, I'm more focused on the people. Oh my goodness. Did you see, I mean, if you notice, I mean, you may be some of them. I know some of y'all out there was all glued just like everybody else. I mean, from people doing skits, people were doing deep dives. I took a screenshot because I went on TikTok for something earlier. People having, you know, on TikTok how they have they have these different discussion rooms and people be taking turns going back and forth. It's Friday and people still talking about it, but they're using that to talk about other things too. And and then I'm scrolling through, it was like the India Times over in India, Australia. I mean, when I tell you people all over the place have been just really diving in and just really talking about this story and all of that. And it was in Forbes magazine. It was in, what was it, USA Today? It was literally all over the place. But to see, and black folks, the people who couldn't barely speak English that were non-black, they were sitting down doing breakdowns of it. Seen some people do like articles on it and, just kind of outlining and diagramming and all of this stuff. I was like, wow, people are really invested in it. And they were, you had a lot of people say, hey, this weekend, don't mess with me. I am watching this. I'm just watching this and that's it. And that's what people do. They were 100% focused on this, on just her drama, basically the drama that she experienced. And what was it? And so, yeah, so you had all of that. And just, like I said, sitting back and just watching people's reaction, and how addictive they were to this drama and the mess that was in it. And so it made me sit back and I said, wow, and I saw someone leave a comment and they said, what's really sad about this? And, and just talking about black folks, they were focused on black folks because it was where I read this comment. It was in a forum where it was black folks talking. And one person said, what's really sad about this is that we can focus on drama and mess all day and fully commit to it. But someone do a 60-second video on how to improve yourself or whatever, then you get complaints saying that it's too long. I just shook my head. I was like, well, that's true. It's very, very true. So in this broadcast tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to really look at, because she is not, like I said, again, she was just sharing her story. That's all she was doing. She was just sharing her story. That's it. But what was her story? What was the content of her story? The content was her experience and what she went through, which is a very, definitely a horrible experience. But people like hearing that. They really, really do. They really like drama, particularly our people. We really like drama. We like mess. We like listening to it. A lot of our people do. Now, I'm not going to say all of us, but many of our people do. And so what we need to understand is when you participate in that, what happens to your mind, what's happening to your body as a result of that. Because she's certainly not the only one that's going on social media to share her unfortunate series of unfortunate events. It's been many, many people, after her rocket has reached its pinnacle, in flight there, and then it starts. And when when she becomes, yesterday's news, there's going to be some other people going to come up. And it was so funny and sad at the same time, because as expected, you had other people coming in talking about, yeah, I was married to him too. Because this person she was married to, that's what the whole story was about. I was married to him too. All of a sudden you coming out and you want to share your story. And then it was then he came out. And I mean, it's like, bruh, I saw just the few videos, couple of videos and the stuff he was posting. I say, bruh, you really need to go the South Pole. Yeah, that's right. You need to go to the South Pole. You need to dig yourself a deep hole, and you need to bury yourself because, bruh, because he was literally verifying everything apparently she was saying in these series of videos. I mean, still putting up fake checks and stuff. It's crazy. But anyway, so tonight what we're going to do is we're going to actually look at what happens when you are obsessively, when you're constantly are looking at things, when you're consuming those things, what happens? And this is going to be a video that if you're, if you don't have the time, you're like, okay, well, I'm looking for entertainment, I'm looking for whatever, then this is probably not going to be the broadcast for you. Okay. But if you are looking to improve yourself, and this is going to definitely be a broadcast that you're going to want to bookmark and really save. I'm serious because, like I said, it's the stuff we're going to be bringing tonight is really something. So anyway, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go through some slides here. Okay. And let's go ahead and just get through this. Okay. All right. Again, big shout out to everybody that's in the chat, people who just coming on board. Good to see each and every one of you. And I'm just going to say it like they say, hit the like button. Okay. I hate when I tell y'all like, I hate saying that. You know why? Because it just is a very awkward thing. It's like people saying, like me, please. Can you like me? The only reason why I'm saying this, and yes, I'm taking time to say, is because it does help to get the video seen by other people, right? That's the only reason why I'm asking people to hit the like button. But other than that, I don't care if you like me or not. But anyway, let's get to the let's go ahead and get started. Let's look at what we're going to be going through tonight. Okay. Okay. All right. So a while back, Nicole and I, we did a series of several videos where we talked about light and frequency and vibration, things like that. We're certainly not the first people who've talked about these topics. I mean, there's many other people out there, but we're going to give our little perspective in the larger conversation that's been going on out there. Okay. Okay. So one of the things we have been saying consistently through many of our videos is that if you want to understand the creator, you have to look at creation. It's just like if you want to understand an artist, you have to look at that artist's work. Do you understand what I'm saying? The artist's work is where that artist expresses themselves. Everything that's inside of them is expressed in their artwork. Well, creation, what we see in nature, is an expression of the one that created it, right? So that is how we learn. That is the best way to learn. It is not in a book, right? I'm going to tell you right now, how can I best say this? Because I don't want to get off too much. But I will tell you this. Let me just say this real quick and then I'll get to this, okay? Because I want to do this. I want to get to this. I have been, for the last few weeks, I've actually been looking at a lot of these videos of people who've had these near-death experiences. It's just something I said, let me check these out, right? And just start looking at them. And the common thread that I hear amongst all these people who've had these near-death experiences, now some people may be lying or whatever, but not everybody is. But the common thread that I have heard from many of these people who've experienced these interesting events is that they said, whatever we were taught here on earth, it's what's on the other side, if you will, it doesn't even compare. Like, you might as well just, it doesn't compare. It just doesn't. It's so much more. There's so much greater than what we've been told. And the reason why I'm saying this to you, and I want you to get it, is there is not one book, and I want you to really hear me. There is not one book that is out here that can totally encapsulate and summarize who you really are. It's not one. Nor is there a book or a movie or documentary that can totally encapsulate and translate for us and tell us and give an explanation for everything that we see in nature. Not one. This is how religions came to be. Religions came to be because mankind saw and realized there's a lot of things in this world that cannot be explained. So the only thing what man does is say, okay, well, let's do this. I'm gonna come up with a religion, and then we're gonna start creating our own gods, because clearly there was a god or somebody that was behind all of this. And that's how all religions really have sprouted out of that. But I'm gonna tell you right now, what's beyond is far beyond what we would ever can even imagine. Far beyond that. But while we're in this plane, there are many things that the greatest lesson book, if you will, is right outside your window. It really is, out in nature. And so what we're going to do is now let's get to right here. All right. So let's start off with this sunlight composition throughout the day. How light frequencies change. This is really interesting. Okay, so at the beginning of the day, as you know, in this picture right here, you see how when the sun comes up, it's bright, right? But it's not like bright. I mean, you can actually, again, like I said, you use your own discretion. That is when people who take time to stare at the sun, we always hear that, don't you dare stare in the sun, you're going to burn your eyes out. No, I mean, if you do that midday, yes, you will, right? But in the beginning and towards the end of the day, no. I mean, you don't stare there for 2 hours doing it, but it varies from depending on who you talk to. But we'll get more into that another time. But anyway, sunrise, sun is low, thicker atmosphere layer, more red and orange wavelengths, lower UV intensity, ultraviolet light. That's ultraviolet light. When you hear people talk about ultraviolet light and how dangerous it is, and we got to spray the atmosphere to cut it off. No, absolutely not. Ultraviolet light is critical for who we are. It's critical for plants, animals, everything. It's critical. In each one of these wavelengths, there is information that is being transmitted to anything that light falls on. And that includes you and me. So we need ultraviolet. We need all of those wavelengths that are coming from the sun. Everything in nature needs it, because what's happening is we're receiving our instructions for the day, basically. I'm not saying that it's saying, okay, you will be great and you will rise up. I mean, I'm not going to put a voice on it, okay? But what I'm saying is the things that are needed for your growth, the things that are needed for your health, you get that primarily from the sun. You do. That's where you get it from. You don't get it from the Bible. You get it from the sun. I'm not advocating and telling you got to sit down and bow down and worship the sun. Nobody's saying that. What I'm telling you is without the sun, we will not have the thing. Everything will be dead. Everything would be, because there's vital information that we need as living beings from the sun. You need it. Okay. It's just what it is. Why people say that? Melanated said, I'm late. Sorry. No, we're going to you're going to stand up. I'm going to have you stand up in the back, okay, for 10 minutes, and then you can come and have your seat, okay? I'm kidding. I'm playing. Okay. Anyway, let's continue. All right. So sunrise, let's see, continue. Morning to midday. Sun rises, reduce scattering, Bright light with more blue increased UV intensity. Okay, now this UV thing is getting a little serious now. Okay, it's getting a little more intense. And what do we always do? You listen to your body. All right, because as it gets more and more intense, and then what's your body naturally saying after a while? It's like, hold on, it's getting too hot. It's getting too intense out here. I need to go find some shade. Well, listen to your body and do just that, because that means you're getting a little bit too much, plain and simple. You know what I mean? So now the signals, all the different signals and the wavelengths that are coming from the sun, now they're amping up a little bit. They're going a little bit higher in the spectrum, right? Midday, the sun is at zenith, highest visible in UV light intensity, vivid colors. Afternoon to sunset, increased scattering, more red orange wavelengths, decreasing UV intensity. Sunset, dusk, sun is low, vivid reds and oranges, decreased visible and UV light intensity. Twilight to night, direct sunlight fades, no UV radiation, transition to artificial light or moonlight. Okay. And so anyway, so as you can see, it goes through these phases, right? It goes from low, then the intensity goes up, 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 up. And then once it reaches the zenith, the high point, then it starts going down, 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 down. There's a reason why I'm explaining all of this. Okay. So let's go to the next slide here. All right. Understanding brain waves. Okay. Brain wave frequencies and their functions. Okay. So our bodies, our brains, they go through a cycle like that, very similar to what I just described to you with the sun. Now, isn't that something? What did I say? If you want to learn you want to learn about the creator, you look at his creation, right? And you also learn about you. Okay. So this is how it goes. So your brain, you have these different waves that they name. Of course, they got to put Greek names on there. Again, that's a whole nother thing. Why it got to be Greek? But anyway, Greek waves, 0.5 to 4 hertz, present during deep sleep, associated with healing and regeneration. So when you're asleep, your brain is at a delta level. It's like at the lowest frequency. All right. That's where you want to be. You want to get that. It's a resting state. Okay. The next one is theta waves, which is at 4 to 8 hertz. All right. Occur in light sleep and meditation, linked to creativity and emotional processing. Now, I would say between the theta and the alpha, sometimes you ever had like these dreams where it's like you ain't all the way asleep, but you ain't all the way awake. Well, that's where those types of dreams happen in between the theta and the alpha. All right. Okay, so let's move to the alpha. Well, the theta was 48 hertz. So notice the voltage is going up a little bit higher. Alpha waves is 8 to 12 hertz, indicate a relaxed awareness related to reduced stress and improved focus. Okay. So you notice it's like the sun. It's like it's waking up slow. And it's starting to get more intense, more intense. Then you got beta waves. Beta waves 12 to 30 hertz. Now, this is where a lot of people, this is the lane that the average person tends to stay in the most. Okay. This dominant and waking consciousness connected to active thought and problem solving. We'll delve into that a little bit more in detail in a moment. And then you have gamma waves, which is 30 hertz and above, associated with high level information processing and consciousness. Okay. All right. So we're going to stop here. There is a video that my wife actually found on Instagram. Now, this lady, she's going pretty fast here, but she will give us a very good overview on what I'm shared with you so far. And then we're going to come back and we're going to continue this. Okay. So pay close attention to what she's saying here, and I'll be right back.
This is what I do every single morning as a neuroscientist to basically be the best person I can be. The first thing to know is that when we are waking up in the morning, our brainwaves are transitioning from delta, theta, alpha, and then into beta when we are more awake and alert. And this is important because if you check your phone first thing in the morning, you're causing your brain to go straight into high beta waves and you are priming yourself to have more stress throughout the rest of your day. Checking social media first thing in the morning also spikes dopamine and lowers your baseline dopamine levels to make you continue to crave checking social media throughout the rest of your day. So I don't go on my phone, but I will play affirmations first thing in the morning. And I do this because evidence suggests that when we have increased theta and alpha brainwave activity, we have increased neuroplasticity, meaning that we have an increased ability to learn and remember things and reprogram our subconscious mind. And theta and alpha are high right when we're waking up. Step 2 of my morning routine is movement. Morning exercise is key, especially if you have ADHD like me. Exercise increases dopamine, norepinephrine, and endocannabinoids, so you get energy, focus, motivation, and a mood boost for the rest of your day. Exercise also just boosts blood flow and oxygen to the brain, so it's the best way to wake up. And I also get sunlight in my eyes every morning to regulate my circadian rhythm. If it's gloomy outside, I'll do red light therapy. And the last step is meditation. Meditation has an extensive list of health benefits as well as improving focus and productivity. But aside from that, meditation gave me superpowers and it completely changed my life.
Okay, so there you go. I know she was pretty fast with that, but she gave, as a neuroscientist, I mean, she's sharing with us what she does on a daily basis. So you can take notes from that as you will. But anyway, I thought that was good. So let's get back to these slides here. And now what I want to focus on is beta waves and gamma waves. I told y'all this is going to be technical now. I thought you were talking about social media. We get into it. Okay, we get to it. All right. Okay. All right. So here we go. What are some of the main things a person is doing when beta waves are firing? All right. So here's a list of things here that I was able to come up with here. Working or studying. Okay. Engaging in work-related tasks or studying for exams is especially when it involves analysis, decision-making, or focused attention. Okay. So you're working or studying. You're just studying, all right? You're just doing it. The teacher gives you something, you study it, and that's it, right? Conversation. Participating in active conversations, discussions, or debates that require listening, thinking, and responding. Okay? Physical activity. Engaging in moderate to vigorous physical activities such as exercising or playing sports, which require focus and coordination. Decision making, making decisions or choices that require weighing options and considering consequences. Problem solving, tackling puzzles, challenges, or problems that require logical reasoning and analytical thinking. Anxiety or stress. Now, this is the one I want you to put a big old star behind on the side of this one. Experiencing feelings of anxiety, stress, or nervousness, which can lead to increased beta wave activity. And then the last one on this list is daily tasks, performing routine tasks that require attention and coordination, such as driving, cooking, or using a computer. Now, everything that I read here, I'll just summarize this page, are the daily things that we go through. It's not necessarily, you're not necessarily moving forward. For the most part, this is your existing. That's pretty much what this is. On a daily basis, we touch on all of these for the most part, right? Just to be a regular human being, this is where you tend to live. When you go to your 9 to 5, right? You're involving, hopefully there's working involved in that. There's conversation that you have. There is some level of physical activity. There are decisions you have to make. There's some problems that you have to solve. You are definitely going to deal with some anxiety or stress, right? And then you got daily tasks. This is where most people live. They live in this space, in this arena right here. And that is just your existing. This is just the basic drive mode of the human body, right? But what happens is, like I said, you don't see anything here that's actually that's progressive, that's moving you higher, You don't see anything like that. You don't see that until you get to the gamma, which is the highest. All right. What are some of the main things a person is doing when gamma waves are firing? Well, let's take a look at this one. Problem solving, engaging in complex problem solving tasks that require the integration of information and critical thinking. We're going to break all this down in a moment. Learning and memory. Activities that involve learning new information or recalling memories, especially those that require the integration of different types of information. All right. Next one, focused attention. Tasks that require sustained attention and focus, such as reading a challenging text or concentrating on a difficult task. All right. It's not just focused attention just on the cartoons, but no, you're focused on something that is challenging you. It's causing your brain cells to kind of figure out, okay, what is this now? Your brain cells are looking and it's like concentrating. It's like, yeah, okay, now, this is something here. What is this? Well, let me run it through here. No, that's not it. Well, let me try this. Oh, that's not it. That's what that's talking about. Now, when you go back to here where it says, when it's talking about problem solving, that's just basic stuff. You already know. I mean, it's problem solving is pretty much, okay, how am I get these niggas out of my face? How am I going to pay this bill? How am I going to do that? That's the problem solving that's talking about. But in gamma, it's figuring out problems that the reward is going to be when you figure it out, you're going to be at a higher level. You're going to have you're going to be all the better for it by figuring that out. You understand what I'm saying? You're not really the things you're figuring out when you're in the beta state is just how to get to the end of the day. This is how you're going to move forward. You understand what I'm saying? How you're going to move higher. Let's move on here. We're at the gamma page now. Meditation, certain types of meditation, particularly those, I didn't say medication, right? Certain types of meditation, particularly those that involve focused attention or the cultivation of compassion and loving kindness, have been associated with increased gamma wave activity. All right. Creative thinking, engaging in creative process that requires the combination of ideas in novel ways such as brainstorming or artistic creation. And then finally, we have peak performance. Athletes, musicians, and other performers may experience increased gamma wave activity during moments of peak performance when they are fully immersed in their activity and performing at their best. Okay, so now we're going to come back here and now let's kind of bring it down a little bit more. Okay, well, let's kind of make this a little more palatable. Okay, so beta wave thinking, for the most part, is kind of like church. Okay, it's kind of like when someone says they're church-minded people. Okay, they're church-minded people. What that is what are you doing in church? What are you doing when you're just a Christian or you are simply operating just in a daily mode. That's it. You're not necessarily moving forward like tangibly, right? You talk about one day and it's sweet by and by. You have told yourself that the only way you're going to advance is when you die. That's some kind of hope there. I mean, you can't advance now. You can't move forward now. Well, hey, listen, all I can do is pray. And then, the Bible says if I pray, then something will happen. And then usually most of the time, the things we pray about are just things that are going to keep us operating at this level. Do you understand what I'm saying? So with church, when you think about church, when you think about Bible teachers or whatever, what they are doing is simply telling you the same things over and over and over again. I mean, like you heard the preacher that I played the other day. It's just like the 3 Hebrew boys. If he could be with the 3 Hebrew boys, he could be with you. And when I think of the goodness of all of that repeating of the same stuff over and over and over and over again, it doesn't move you forward. It just makes you comfortable being a beta. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't going anywhere with that. And the proof is, once you step out of the church, you back to, yeah, girl, you seen that man, you see that man, you back to talking, you on social media. As soon as you get out of church, some of y'all be doing it when you're in the church, or you on social media already looking for the next argument to be a part of. So you're not moving forward. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're not doing that. And then you're also, for many of you, you're associating with people who don't move you forward either. They keep you in the same loop. There's no challenge. Do you understand what I'm saying? A lot of times we run from people that challenge us because we feel like, well, wait, who you think you are? But not everybody that necessarily gets under your skin isn't always someone that's your enemy. You may want to pause for a minute and say, what is exactly irritating me about this individual? You may want to think about that before you start cutting folks off. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes people are there to challenge you to become even a better person. And that is the best person in your life at that time. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, back to here. Well, I'll stay a beta for a second. So in the beta, anxiety or stress. When you stay in this state for extended periods of time, what happens is there's an increase of this area right here, anxiety or stress. Had a really interesting conversation this week on this. Going back and forth, not back and forth in a combative way, not at all, but really trying to get to the root and understanding this. And what came out of that was, yeah, if you stay in an extended period of time in this state, what happens is your anxiety will continue to go up. Your stress will go up, and that's it. And you heard like what the young lady said in the video that I just played. When you get on social media, or rather this slide here, when you wake up and the first thing you do is jump on social media, your brain is supposed to go through this natural process from delta, your sleep, theta, you're kind of waking up, alpha, beta. You're supposed to go through this natural process. But when you open your phone, the first thing you do when you wake up and go right to Twitter or whatever, in many ways, you're jumping right to beta. And when you do that, what's happening, it throws your whole day off. Here's another thing, too, I forgot to mention on this slide. Do you see a common thread with all of these different waves here? I see a theme here. And what I see is the majority of these waves stay in the area of rest, total rest, or near rest. Isn't that something? So delta, theta, and alpha are in a restful state. Beta is when you're like, you start going up, and then gamma, you just got laser eyes, you going up. Okay. But 3 out of the 5 is restful state. So what does that tell you? You need to create an environment where a good percentage of that environment is a restful environment. That includes people. You're going to have to start cutting away certain people, certain activities that you participate in. If they do not contribute to your rest, then I'm telling you right now, it's going to have a direct impact on your body and on your mind. Okay. All right. So let's go here. A little arrow on the title there. It says frequencies of the human body's vital organs. Okay, so how do these frequencies? What frequencies do these vital organs operate on? Everything about you is electric. Okay, we've already established that everything. So that means that organs have their own frequencies, just like diseases have their own frequencies. Diseases, things such as like cancers or tumors, they have a low frequency. What is a cancer? What are tumors? This is your body's way of basically telling all of these things in your body that is trying to kill it and trying to destroy it. It's your body's way of fighting back, and it's cloaking it. It's putting it all in these growths. So tumors and cancers, that's what that is. So what we've been taught when it comes to these things is, they just pop out of nowhere. No, well, they do, because it's your body's way of saying, I got to come to the rescue. There's too many of these free things floating around here that's going to kill this thing here that I'm in. So I have a system where I can gather as much of it as I can and create these tumors. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever seen some of these videos on YouTube? I like some of these like weird medical things I watch sometime where people may have all these tumors and stuff like that. What that means is your body has too much of these things that are not good. I'm just putting it in plain English, and it's an imbalance. And so when there's an imbalance, your body is just going in overdrive and it's just grabbing all. Okay, we got this here. Okay, put it in that trash bag. Okay, you got all this here. Okay, let's put it in that trash bag. It's like there's an imbalance. So typically that means there's something, one of those organs or a couple of those organs, there may be something that's a little off there that they need to pay closer attention to. But like I said, that's those extreme cases. But when someone has like a tumor or you develop a cancer or something like that, that's what your body is basically doing. Okay. But those tumors, cancers and things like that, they have a frequency. They do have a frequency to them. Okay. Just like your organs, that your heart and your brain and all that, they operate at a frequency as well. So we'll just go through it real quick. Your heart's frequency ranges typically between 0.5 to 2 hertz, reflecting the heart's rate and its rhythmic beating patterns. Your brain frequencies vary widely depending on activity. We've already talked about that. No need to read that further. Your lungs operate at frequencies related to the respiratory rate, generally around 0.16 to 33 hertz, 10 to 20 breaths per minute. Now, the liver and kidneys, they say the liver metabolic activities produce frequencies that are not well defined but are crucial for the body's detoxification processes. And then kidneys filter blood at a frequency corresponding to the rate of the filtration and urine production, not easily quantified in hertz. Okay, so but nonetheless, all of these things do operate at a certain frequency. And I just threw this in here just really quick here, just talking about how, just re-emphasizing what I just said a moment ago, how your body is pretty much operates on electric. It's all electric. And so much so you have doctors for years that have been putting in these like heart pacemakers. It's basically wiring, real wires that they're putting in your body. I mean, they're telling you, this is how your body operates. I don't have to read all of that, but I just wanted to show that to you. And this is just an example of what it looks like. Okay. These are real wires they're putting in your body because this is how your body operates. Okay. All right. So let me get out of here. How we doing? Okay, good. Let's see. Okay. So now this is, I want to share this with you here. Okay. Okay. So now let me pull this one up here. Okay, good. All right. Here we go. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for y'all. All right. Let me see. Oh, how about I do that? Okay. All right. So we talked about the different frequencies that are in your Bible. Wow. In your body, right? Now, your body also needs minerals. Okay. And how this is going to tie together is going to be really interesting. Okay. So so these are the minerals that are found in the human body. Okay. I'm going to go through this pretty quick. Okay. So calcium, you'll find that. Okay. Bones and teeth. What are the benefits? Right. I'll just read the 2 paragraphs and then the rest you can see. If you want to do a screenshot, you can do it. Okay. Phosphorus, bones, teeth, DNA, RNA, potassium, your muscles, heart, kidneys, and brain. Let's see here. Sodium, blood, extracellular fluid. And it says vital for maintaining fluid balance, nerve signaling, muscle contractions. Sodium. So, okay, that magnesium, bones, muscle, soft tissue, bodily fluids. Iron, hemoglobin, myoglobin, enzymes. Zinc, various organ tissues, bones, fluid cells. Okay. Let's go on here. Copper. We just talked about that, right? Liver, brain, heart, and kidneys. Remember, I'll just add this about the copper thing too. Emphasize again, you don't want to overdo copper. Just doing that copper cup thing, filling that up like we described earlier. One day is enough. That's it. Okay. You don't need to do anything else, because we're going to talk about where you can get copper. There's other places you can get copper too. All right. Selenium, muscles, thyroid gland, iodine, thyroid gland, manganese, bone, liver, kidneys, pancreas, fluoride, bones and teeth. Let's see, chloronium. I hope I'm saying that right. Let's see, various tissues. And it says enhances the action of insulin involved in metabolism of the carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, and molybdenum, liver, kidneys, and other tissues. Okay. This is real quick here. All right. So that was just a quick rundown. Here's another quick rundown. Where can we find these minerals amongst herbs? And here's a list right here. You can see all of that right here. Okay, so you may want to take a screenshot. I'll just read a few. You can take a screenshot and I'll see if I can make it available, in a PDF or something like that. Okay, but calcium, you can find basil, thyme, dill, oregano, cilantro. I'll just zinc. You got basil, thyme, and sage. Copper, you can get it in dill, basil. That dill, man, be coming up a lot, huh? Iodine. You get that in seaweed. We know what we sell at Sabbatry, right? Anyway, so all of that right there. So you can take a look at that. Okay. I'm just going pretty slow there. Now, here's where it's really gets a little more interesting here. Minerals that are found in the human body that are also found in electronic devices. Copper. Okay. You have copper in you. Widely used in electrical wiring, circuit boards, various electronic components due to its excellent electrical conductivity. So why do you need copper? See, a computer is basically man's way of trying to mimic the human body. That's really what it is. Right? Iron. Okay, used in magnetic storage devices, transformers, and inductors because of its magnetic properties. Zinc, used in batteries such as zinc carbon batteries and as a corrosion resistant coating for other metals. Selenium, and it says used in photocopiers, light meters, and solar cells due to its photovoltaic and photoconductive properties. And let's see, manganese, it says used in manganese dioxide batteries and as a component in some alloys to improve corrosion resistance and mechanical properties. Cobalt, used in rechargeable batteries and hard disk. Cobalt is a critical component in lithium ion batteries. Now, reason why I wanted to take the time to go through that is because I want you to see and understand that Hold on, close this out. Now, hopefully, now you're understanding what has happened in our diets, at least in the Western world, in our diets. A lot of these minerals that I just mentioned have been stripped away out of our foods. They've been stripped away. You ever listen to somebody that says that they either visited a foreign country or, maybe they moved there and they say, man, I just been eating all kinds of stuff. And the more I eat, it's like I'm losing weight. I'm losing weight. I can't tell you how many people I'm like, find me this mystical place where I can eat all the cake I want and I lose weight. You can identify the place where I can do that. I'm there. But no, but what it is, and it don't matter. It can be down in Central South America. It can be in Europe or whatever. I've heard the same thing over and over again. There was a place, our son, he used to have serious reaction to gluten. Now, gluten is, was one of those, it just really, it bothers a lot of people because it's the stuff they put in it, right? The pesticides and stuff. But anyway, he used to have a really bad reaction to it, right? And he was a child. So what's one of a child's favorite foods? Pizza, right? So he was very limited in the amount of pizza he could have, because when he would have it, boy, he would break out. Anything that had bread in it, he would break out. And he got a little bit older. This is in Atlanta, in downtown Atlanta. There was a pizza place we were there when it first open, and it's like a real I can't even think of the name of the pizza joint, but the people are from Italy. They're like first generation people. And we actually talked to, I don't know if it was the owner or I don't know, but the person was saying how they literally every day fly in all of their ingredients from Italy, everything, the tomatoes, the sauce, the everything. It gets flown in from Italy every day. And so we said, well, of course, we want to try this place, man. If it's that legit, let's try it. So, my son, he tried the pizza, had no reaction, none, absolutely none. His skin was fine. He had no reaction at all. So this wicked place that we live in, they have stripped so many of these things out of our food. It does. So now our body is trying its best to, and another mineral I forgot to mention is gold. You actually have small trace amounts of gold in you as well. And gold is a very good conductor and all of that too, right? So anyway, that's our food, but that's also our water as well. The water that we get, from our faucets and all that, a lot of this stuff has been stripped. This is why you should feel some kind of way, because some of these places you're actually drinking what I call dookie water. Literally, the water what you do your business in the toilet, you flush it, it goes to the system, they clean it out, they talking about we spray it down and all this stuff, and then they just find its way back in your pipe again. So by now you should know, don't be drinking out directly out of your faucet. Don't do that. Not, unless you use a Berkey and, but a Berkey is designed to strip as much stuff, bad things out of it as possible. But you might be also losing some of those minerals too. You know what I'm saying? So this is why we've been really encouraging people too, to look for these springs, look for natural springs in your area where you can get water that's passing through those rocks, passing through those soils and the clay and those roots of the trees and all of that stuff. Because all of these things that I'm mentioning, it plays a very critical role in how you think, how you process things. You understand what I'm saying? And one of the things that we're highlighting tonight is the copper. Copper is a very critical thing. Copper is one of the only things that, like it just said, is one of the only minerals where you have to get it externally. You have to find it externally. And it plays a very critical role in your brain and how you process things. Do you understand what I'm saying? Copper is also, as we mentioned, is an excellent conductor. if your copper level is low, right, and you're operating at that beta frequency all the time, oh, you're going to get it. You're going to get all of it. I mean, it's all, you don't know to move forward. You just know to stay on that one lane, which is beta. You stay in the beta lane. But when you're getting the minerals and stuff that you're supposed to get, on one hand, you'll be in that lane because, I mean, we all operate out of that, but there will always be that thing in you that will say, you know what? I got to move forward. I got to move forward. I got to move forward. If you don't have that, if that's not in you to move ahead and to challenge yourself, you know what I'm saying, into new ideas, into new thoughts and stuff like that, if that's not in you, then there's a direct correlation to the things that you're lacking. Like what we just talked about this evening, the minerals and stuff, the lack of minerals that are in your body. You're not allowing your body to have the conductivity it needs so that when you're going through these different phases of these different brain waves, as soon as I can pull it back up right here, that natural part of you is like, okay, all right. So today, we're going to function at this level. We're going to get things done. We're going to go to work. We're going to go through all the things we do at work. All right. But then afterwards, okay, now we're going to start focusing on us. Now we're going to start building our own dreams. Now we're going to start investing in ourselves. Now we're going to start building. You understand what I'm saying? You have to have that part. And see, when you get older, the older you get, that's when your mineral deficiency starts going down. That's why your teeth sometimes start getting all weak, and some other things of your body, it starts getting weaker. Why? Because your mineral deficiency starts going down. Okay. And that's why, but it doesn't have to be that way. You can still do the things you need to do to replenish that so that you can be built up. And so, like the Bible says, your latter days will be greater than your former. We can borrow that and say that yes, you can be an older person. I've seen people way older than me climbing mountains, and I'm sitting up here like, how are they doing? Because they are taking care of their bodies by making sure that they're taking in these right things. Do you understand what I'm saying? But if all you're doing all day is scrolling on the internet, scrolling on Twitter, scrolling on Facebook, listening to other people's problems, and you're like, yeah, that's it, you will forever stay in this lane and you will never move up. You will never move forward. So this is why making sure your body's getting all the minerals that it needs, it helps your body. It tells your body, once your body gets there, it's like, okay, now we can start challenging ourselves. Now we can start building. Now we can start looking at high level information, like it says here, right? Let's go back to this real quick. It did gamma. Okay, it says creative thinking, focused attention, where you're challenging yourself. That's basically, I'm gonna be honest with you, this is my own personal testimony too. When we were doing the Who in the L series and all that stuff, that what you saw come out of that was it had a direct result. It was out of a direct result of my diet changing. If you notice, if you talk to a lot of people who said, you know what, I got to get out of this matrix thing or whatever, you hear that. What's happened? One of the common threads that you'll see a lot of people who are actually moving away from a lot of these constructs is that their diet changed. Once your diet changes, and when I tell you your perspective just goes through the roof, it does. But if you are maintaining the same diet over and over again, I mean, you ain't making any changes, and you're just sitting up in the house, or you're just always exposing yourself to that blue light only, man-made blue light, I might add, then what happens is it keeps you at this perpetual level where you just never move ahead. So anyway, that is pretty much the summation of what I want to share, is that what social media does to you, it keeps you at a certain level. It keeps you perpetually in stress and anxiety. And what I learned in just seeing this week, the Risa Teresa thing, and seeing how many of our people are addicted to stress, anxiety. We just, Mabel King, she was saying, don't nobody bring me no bad news. We love bad news though. We love we love hearing about other people's bad news. A lot of our people do. We do. You think I'm telling a lie here? Get out here and tell some stories about how someone is actually winning, for real, and see how far that story goes in comparison to these stupid behind comedians. You've been catching up on some of these comedians out here. It's like all these comedians are going in on each other. And people up there like, yeah, and they just all eating this stuff up. And I'm like, y'all, this it? And I saw something, Commission. They've been having friction for years, but even that, it's like, yeah, yeah, tell me more, and people just love that stuff. But what is it again? You stay at that certain level. You just maintaining. It doesn't move you ahead. And when you find yourself in that rut, first thing you want to check out is, okay, what is my eating habits like? What have I been doing? And you don't just, it starts with a decision, obviously, but you have to stay committed to it. And it's a 1 day at a time. 1 day at a time. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to become some whatever overnight. But I'm telling you, this is where, and the reason why we can say most black folks stay in the beta level is because we haven't collectively really built anything. I'm talking, when I say built anything, understand what I'm saying. I know I got some people, we build America, but do you control America? No, you don't. You worked in the fields. Yep, we did help. We did play a key role in building the economy and all that. Absolutely. But who are the people controlling all of this? You ain't. Do you understand what I'm saying? But when I talk about innovation, understand what I mean when I say innovation. I'm talking about coming up with innovative ways that can cancel out completely the education deficit that we have right now, where we're waiting for the government to come up with an idea that can figure out how we can get our kids to read again. That's not innovation. You understand what I'm saying? That's not innovation. Well, we that's not innovation at all. Well, we got to depend on them. I'm talking about coming up with a design. See, Black History Month, I'm always grateful. Look, I'm grateful for whatever. But aren't you getting a little bit tired talking about some of these black inventors that did things yesteryear? Where are they today? Are there some? Yes. But we need innovators right now that can come up with ideas that can change the tide of a lot of this stuff that we've been complaining about for umpteen years. We need innovators that can literally know how to say, you know what? They're not just making some, the God is telling me, the Most High is telling me. It's got to be church involved. It's got to be, he's telling me that if you give your gift, a love gift of $500, what's going to happen is, and we just come up with some foolishness. I saw some video the other day and someone got on there and they were like, no, Jesus. Lord, I had a dream. It's too late, y'all. It's too late. It's too late. We all dead. Basically something like that. And it's always that. Do you understand what I'm saying? How about where the brothers? We're the strong men. You know what I'm saying? We're the women that can sit down and say, okay, what's going on in these communities where our people have been dealing with this water situation. The water has been jacked for ages. Okay, we're gonna come together and we're gonna fix this thing. Thankfully, you have people like Moses West who stepped in. He did innovate, but we need more people like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying nobody's doing anything at all. What I am saying is the majority of our people are staying in one lane, and far too many of us are not operating at our optimum. And why is that? It's because we have to start looking at what what's our diets, and we got to look at what we're consuming when it comes to these eye gates and these ear gates as well. We have to stop the madness. I'm already making plans. I'm like, certain things, I'm just gonna stop it. I'm gonna cut it off. I can't take it anymore, because every time I get on this thing, I feel more and more depressed. And we're gonna have to start making those decisions. You know what I'm saying? To protect ourselves. So anyway, that's it. That's all I have. I didn't want to make this too long. But as I told you, there was going to be a lot of info in this. Do take the time. If you didn't, if you had to skip and fast forward, I understand. I get it. Do take the time to maybe revisit this, share it with your friends and family, discuss this, but not just discuss it, but do make some real intentional changes when it comes to your diet and things like that. Because as you can see, there's a direct correlation between how we eat, the things we consume, and where you are in this station of life. You don't have to. I told my wife, I said, I am not, you feel at times where, you reach a certain age, and people always say this, they're like, child, when you reach a certain age, you start feeling like you got to settle in, and, that's just what it is. What that tells me is nope, I ain't doing that. And there's nothing wrong with settling. Understand what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. But there's also a little part of you that knows, that's saying, hey, wait a minute. There's a lot more back here. What you doing? Why you settling? Man, you better get up. We ain't going to that grave until all this comes out now. Now, the Creator put all this stuff in us, and you already making plans of, yeah, child, this is your refiring time. All right, let's go. Love you guys. You guys take care, and I'll see you the next time.